who are on the road must have a code that you can live by, and so become yourself, because the past is just a goodbye. Teach your children well, their father's hell did slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they picks, the one you'll know by. Don't you ever ask them why, if they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh, and know they love you.
And you of tender years can't know the fear that your elders grew by, and so please help them with your youth. They seek the truth before they can die. Teach your children well, their parents' hell did slowly go by, and feed them on your dreams, the one they picks, the one you'll know by.
Don't you ever ask them why, if they told you you would cry, so just look at them and sigh, and know they love you. And know they love you. And know they love you.
Good morning and welcome to the Unitarian Church of Los Alamos. I am Tharp, Eralie, and I use they, them pronouns and will be your worship coordinator for this morning. Worship associate for this morning. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever your image of the holy, wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here today. If this is your first time with us, we'd love to get to know you, and please, you can sign our guest book in the foyer. You can also speak with our greeter, Mike McNaughton, Rebecca Howard, the chairperson of our membership committee, or Reverend Tina for more information about our church. And if you're joining us online, hello. Please sign our virtual guest book. The link is located in the notes below the video, and you can submit a virtual joy or sorrow to be read next week during our service. To learn more about our spiritual enrichment programs for all ages, feel free to speak to Elizabeth Portillos, our Lifespan Spiritual Enrichment Assistant and Teacher. Tara Louise, our Director of Lifespan Spiritual Enrichment, is out for the month of July on vacation, but we'll be back in August if you would like to speak to her. You can also check out the table in the foyer for more information about our spiritual enrichment programming. For kids here in our service, we have the activities table out in the front. We ask that kids use their whisper voices to talk at the table. They can also stay seated with their parents. Parents and kids can also sit in our library room, and you can still hear our service. We also have a nursery for young kiddos ages 0 to 3, and Sarah Hamoud is our nursery coordinator and can check in your younger kiddos if you have them. We also have our Candles of Community area over here, and then there's another one in the back. If you are invited to come up during the first hymn, now, or any time before the prayer time to light a candle, if you would also like to and then write your joy and sorrow in the book. We are also going to do joys and sorrows a little bit differently today, so if you'd like to voice them out loud, that will be an option. So please go ahead, silence your cell phones as we get started, and we begin our worship service together. You are now invited to greet your neighbors, introduce yourself, and if you'd rather not shake, just wave and say hello. Fist bumps. No germs. Thank you. Today's church announcements can be read weekly in your email found on the website or on our monthly printed flyers, many of which are on the table in the foyer, on the back of your bulletin, and on our social media pages. To highlight a few announcements for today, so today after service, we have our community potluck, so you're welcome to stay and enjoy the food and fellowship. The annual backpack drive for refugee children is also underway. We have collection boxes in our entryway to collect backpacks filled with school supplies and gift cards to Target or Walmart. Our church is supporting one of the Afghan refugee families in Santa Fe. This drive is through the Lutheran Family Services. The school supply lists are on the table in the foyer, so please consider donating a filled backpack this year for a refugee child. And right now at Smith, school supplies are on sale. So you have until July 24th, this Thursday, so get your donations in this week for the refugee backpack drive. This Wednesday, July 23rd, from 6 to 8 p.m., you are invited to join other church and community members in a free Palestine art-making space. Come express your grief, anger, sadness, and emotions surrounding the Israel-Palestine conflict. We will be making art together in the Create room at the end of the hallway here at the church.
Good morning, everybody. Hi, my name is the Reverend Tina DeYoe, and I use she, her pronouns. And this is our call to worship and chalice lighting time. We come together as a community every Sunday to pause and worship together. Worship creates connections within, among, and beyond us, calling us to live with wisdom and compassion, calling us to be our better selves. And our worship theme for the month of July is empathy, and we've been exploring this the past couple Sundays, and empathy is the cure to the division in our world. Empathy makes us stronger. And so today we're exploring the theme of accepting our complex emotions in order to have empathy for ourselves and others. And we are using the themes of Inside Out 2. Yeah, so raise your hand if you've seen it. And if it's okay if you haven't, I have clips. Yeah, a lot of us have seen it. So we're going to use Inside Out 2 to discuss these subjects of acceptance, balance, and empathy today. And we will light our chalice today, symbol of our faith, and Althea is going to come up and light our chalice, and Dylan's going to read our chalice lighting words.
Today, we light this chalice in recognition that all emotions, even the so-called negative ones, like anxiety, embarrassment, and envy, are essential for personal growth and understanding. If you will join me, let us rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, Just as Long as I Have Breath. Our affirmation: love is the doctrine of this church, the quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve life in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow in harmony. Thus we do covenant with each and with all. You may be seated. And now Tina will do our Time for All Ages. So if any kiddos want to come up to our Time for All Ages rug.
Come on up. Is number 1 on? Oh, there we go. Okay. I have a bunch of props. So come on up if you want to the Time for All Ages Young Worshipers rug, and we can have a Time for All Ages up here. So come on up, y'all. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. So today we're going to be talking about feeling all our feelings. Raise your hand if you are a person who, and out here too, feels all your feels. Do you guys feel all your feels? Yeah? All your different feelings, maybe? Yeah? Can't always recognize them, but feel them, right? So I know that I sometimes feel angry. Raise your hand if you ever felt angry. Yeah, me, yeah. Definitely. So, what are some things that we can do if we are angry? Does anyone have ideas? Anyone? Take a breath. Go for a hike. Stop being angry. Okay, yeah. You might be better at that than I am. So yeah, but stop, right? So you said stop, Roman. So one skill that we can use for being angry is called the stop skill, right? So we literally we stop, right? What we're doing if we're angry. And then the T is for take a breath. You said take a breath. So let's take a breath. Let's practice. Take a breath. Okay. And now we can observe the O and stop. So we observe what we're feeling about our anger, what's going on, right? Why am I angry? I don't know. Maybe someone like took my pencil from me or something. I don't know, right? So we can observe that feeling of anger. And then once we take a breath, we stop, take a breath, observe. It gives us time to proceed with mindfulness forward, right? So we proceed forward mindfully. So that might be, oh, this person took my pencil, and so I really want to hit them, but no, I got to stop. And I'm going to proceed and tell them, hey, that was my pencil. Could you please give it back, right? So we can proceed mindfully. So that's a way to deal with our emotion of anger. What about, how many of y'all feel fearful or nervous? Raise your hand. Have you felt that way before? Yeah, right? Surprised, distracted, anxious, right? So what do you do when you're feeling fearful? Anything? Any thoughts? Yeah. Or, yeah, just feeling fearful. What'd you say? Leave a situation. Thank you. Yeah, you could leave if you're feeling fearful. And, shut down sometimes, yeah. Go for another hike. Right? Yeah. Talk to somebody about feeling scared or nervous. Yeah. So, with fear, right? I like to just kind of cuddle up, shut down, you said. Yeah, in my bed maybe, with my stuffies or something, right? So another thing that we can do when we're feeling fearful is we can use this slow sign to just slow down, right? So like you said, maybe we just take a nap, right? Or go for another hike. Oh, journal. Gotcha. Journal. Yeah, write down what we're feeling about being scared. So we slow down. What if we are feeling in the blue zone, which is sad? What do we do if we're feeling sad, lonely, depressed? Journal more, find a friend. Okay, yeah. Find a friend. Yeah. Go outside. Yeah. Another hike. Cry, right? Cry, tears. Yes, that is totally valid, right? Let out those tears sometimes. Got to do that. Maybe ask someone for a hug, right? I usually need a hug when I'm sad. Yeah. So we can also, another thing, we can take a rest, right? Just let's take a rest. Maybe another nap, right? Sometimes I just need a nap or just to watch a funny movie or something, right? So take a rest when we're feeling sad. And then feeling happy or joyful. What do you do when you feel happy and joyful? Dance. Money? You like to spend money when you're happy and joyful? Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I get that. I like to go shopping, buy some stuff. Yeah? Yeah. What else? Make art? Yeah. Share, yeah. We can share our happiness and joy with others, right? Yeah? Sing. Yes. There's so many fun things we can do when we're happy, right? So the symbol for happy is just go. Share, have fun, do things. Do what you're interested in. Go play a sport. Go, sing a song like you said. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. So maintaining your empathy, which is your knowledge of other people's feelings. So, because not everyone might not all people might feel joyful at the same time as you're feeling joyful, right? Yep, totally. So I just want to let you know today, when we're talking about all these feeling all the feels, that your feelings are totally okay, no matter what those feelings may be. It's totally okay, and it happens to all of us, right? So we can talk to people about our feelings for sure when we're feeling our feels. And one thing I'm gonna have y'all do at the intention table here, the activity table, is you can cut out these little door hangers. So you can take these home and, if you need to tell people in your fam or your friends how you're feeling, you can put these like door hangers. This one says, "This room is a mess, yuck." This one says, "Enter at your own risk," if you're feeling angry. If you're feeling sad, you can put up, "Give me a moment or two." If you're feeling fearful, you can say, "Proceed with caution." And if you're feeling joyful, you can say, "Yay, you're here, come in." Okay? So I have a bunch of these things that you guys can cut out and you can use at your house. And adults, if we have extra, you can take some too. So let's go back to our intention table, and you can practice feeling all your feels and cut these out today. There's scissors here, and then they're in, yeah. Our scissors, thank you. We will have our offering time. Our offering for July is taken up on behalf of Tomorrow's Women. Based out of Santa Fe, their mission is to train young women from Palestine, Israel, and the United States to be strong, compassionate leaders who partner to resolve conflicts and inspire action that promotes equality, peace, and justice for all. Please feel free to use the QR code for the Givelify app on the screen, or you can put your monetary donation into our baskets as they are passed. So thank you for sharing your gifts this morning, and may what you give bring you joy.
Thank you for your generosity this morning, and may your gifts sow the seeds of peacemaking in Israel and Palestine. I'll bring back up Reverend Tina for our time of joys and sorrows.
So today, we are going to do our joys and sorrows a little different. And since we are talking about feelings and empathy today with our Inside Out 2 movie theme, I want to invite folks to voice their joy and or sorrow out loud with us today. And as folks share their joys and sorrows and feelings with us today, we can practice listening, which is a skill that helps us build empathy for others. So after folks share out loud, we will sing our meditation hymn. And you can still light a candle for what is on your heart today and write a joy or sorrow in the book for me to read aloud in that time after. So I now will take our microphone and invite folks to share any joys or sorrows or feelings or concerns for people in our community out loud with us today. So please raise your hand if you would like to share.
Well, I have a joy that we have Kathy Hayes with us today.
I had a joy that's fun to share. My big dog, Nar, is getting a kitten on Tuesday.
Oh, back here, yeah. Okay. And any kids can share too, so don't be shy.
Hi, I'm Peter, and I've had a lot of sorrow recently. My father passed, but fortunately he was 102 and had a wonderful life. And but then 3 days ago, my best friend growing up, he died on the streets of Fort Lauderdale due to drug addiction. And it's been a rough week on that, so I've been dealing a lot with sorrow and trying to make my steps through it. And I hope that everyone just can feel joy and happiness. And even though these things happen to people and I'm having a tough time, I know that I will step through and come through on my life.
Thank you.
I'm Maggie. Today I woke up to a friend telling a story about being attacked and violated in her home by one of her renters. She was severely beaten and stabbed, and she's in the hospital in Akron, Ohio. And I'd like to send some prayers out to her and her family.
Thank you. Thank you.
I'm Anna, and I would just like to ask for energy for my daughter who's having surgery tomorrow. It's just minor, it's teeth stuff, but any energy is appreciated.
Thank you. Thank
you. I'm joyful that I get to sing music with my daughter still at this age in my life, which is quite a treat. I'm also feeling just a lot of appreciation for this community and this community and then the larger community for the tremendous support that's been coming forward for months now about the Interfaith Coalition on Homelessness. So a lot of gratitude.
I miss Jim sitting next to me in church.
What did you say it one more time?
Pardon?
Say it one more time.
I miss Jim sitting next to me in church. He's been gone for 7 years.
Thank you. Oh, yeah.
I'm Earl Marie, and I have a happy note. My grandson, my oldest grandson, and his fiance got married a couple of weeks ago, and I wish them a wonderful life together.
Congratulations, yeah. Others? Thank you all for sharing your joys and sorrows out loud with us today in this sacred space of community. We are now going to sing our meditation song, and you will still have a chance to come up and write a joy or sorrow if you would rather do that, and or light a candle. So you are welcome to do that during this meditation hymn time now. Please join in. We're going to sing the breathe in, breathe out twice, and then you can follow along with the melody after or join in with the descant for this meditation song. Candles have been lit today for anger and sadness, joy and hope, the beauty of being alive. For the family of Dave Bibb, who died this morning. For all immigrants. And for our own Jenny Gaffney, who is recovering from back surgery today and at home now. May all of these spoken, unspoken prayers and joys and concerns that remain in the stillness of our heart be lifted up in this space, as well as all of those that were spoken out loud today.
ice cream castles in the air and feather canyons everywhere. I've looked at clouds that way, but now they only block the sun. They rain and snow on everyone. So many things I would have done, but clouds got in my way. I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's clouds' illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at all. Moons and Junes and Ferris wheels, that dizzy dancing way you feel as every fairy tale comes real. I've looked at love that way, but now it's just another show. You leave 'em laughing when you go, and if you care, don't let them know. Don't give yourself away. I've looked at love from both sides now, from give and take, and still somehow it's love's illusions I recall. I really don't know love at all. Tears and fears and feeling proud to say I love you right out loud. Dreams and schemes and circus crowds. I've looked at life that way, but now old friends are acting strange. They shake their heads, they say I've changed. Well, something's lost, but something's gained in living every day. I've looked at life from both sides now, from win and lose, and still somehow it's life's illusions I recall. I really don't know life at all. I've looked at life from both sides now, from win and lose, and still somehow it's life's illusions I recall. I really don't know life at all.
That was gorgeous. Thank you, guys. That was awesome. So, Inside Out 2 and empathy. No single emotion makes us who we are. We are complex beings made up of complex stuff. And we have complex emotions, especially when we go through the process of puberty, which is when our body is growing and changing, like Riley, our main character in Inside Out 2. We are perfectly imperfect, perfectly messy, and perfectly complex. Acceptance of all the components of our messy and complex selves leads us to balance in our lives. This balance allows us to have choice when we can choose to be who we want to be. And we can choose to be a person who has empathy and compassion for ourselves and others. So we are made up of complex stuff. Things like personalities and character. Personality is a complex and dynamic construct shaped by both inherited traits, our genes, and environmental influences, family, peers, education, culture, experiences. Biological factors, neurotransmitters, hormones, brain structure, developmental stages, and character also play significant roles in shaping our personality. Our character is shaped by a person's learned behavior, inherent nature, moral principles, and consistency. Our character is made up of emotions, memories, imagination, stream of consciousness, our sarcasm, brainstorms, projections, vaults of secrets, beliefs, our values, thoughts, behaviors, and more. So let's watch a clip here from Inside Out 2, where they show Riley's, the main character's, also, and it's her character, also known in the movie as her core sense of self forming. Core sense of self, made up from memories and then beliefs that come up off of that. So Inside Out 2 describes some of the complex personality and character traits that we form in our lives. And our emotions are part of this. That was joy and sadness there. So in the first movie, who's seen the first Inside Out movie? Some of y'all? Yes. So in the first movie, in Inside Out, Riley moves from Minnesota to California, the Bay Area, as a young child. She experiences lots of emotions around this move and is used to She experiences lots of emotions around this move, and she only, at that point in her life, knows the emotion of joy. But then, as she moves, she experiences sadness, anger, fear, and disgust. And Riley doesn't know how to let sadness in. So throughout the first movie, it is a struggle for Riley to let sadness in. And she finally does, and things are then better for her in her life. She balances these emotions that make up her character until she turns 13. And her body starts growing and changing through the process of puberty. So here are the emotions that she experiences as a young kiddo. So you got sadness, joy, fear, disgust, anger. And now we meet Riley, who just turned 13 in Inside Out 2. And here is the puberty alarm in Riley's. So Riley is now experiencing more complex and deeper felt emotions. So here, our next video. So when we have acceptance, so that was, I'll repeat the emotions, anxiety, embarrassment, we have envy, we have ennui, which is boredom or apathy. Yes, and nostalgia is in there as well. So when we have acceptance of all our complex and messy selves and our emotions, we learn to have empathy for ourselves. And acceptance is a phase of grief, if you know the phases and stages of grief. When things change in our life, whether it is puberty or something else, we can go through a grief process. Denial, anger, bargaining, depression, acceptance. So we meet Riley, a little backstory here, as she is heading to hockey camp with her best friends. Riley is going through puberty, and on the way to hockey camp, Riley finds out that her best friends won't be going to the high school that she will be going to next year. They won't be playing on the same team anymore. And Riley is experiencing lots of change. So Riley is going through this grief process as they're all headed to hockey camp. She's having trouble accepting all of these changes, so she starts focusing on her anxieties around them. Riley tries to suppress her core emotions, as you see, bottle them up, right? You just saw that. Her emotions are being suppressed or bottled up. And she's allowing these other emotions to take over, like anxiety, embarrassment, envy, ennui, and nostalgia. So throughout the movie, as Riley and her friends are at hockey camp, we see Riley struggling with the news and anxiety of her friends going to a different school soon. Riley wants to make new friends on the varsity hockey team and puts pressure on herself to be the best hockey player in order to make the varsity team. Because Riley, with her anxiety, conclude that if she doesn't make the varsity team, she will not have friends in high school and will sit alone at the lunch table and nobody will know her name, only the teachers. Anxiety really does a number on Riley, to the point in the movie where she sneaks into the coach's office to read what the coach wrote about her in the coach's notebook. She then puts pressure on herself to score 3 goals in the hockey camp scrimmage because she thinks this is how the coach will pick her for the team. She lets her anxiety run the show, to the point of not being a team player or a friend. Instead, Riley pursues her goal of making the most hockey goals and even injures one of her friends in the game. The coach sends her to the penalty box, and it is here that Riley's core beliefs of being anxious about the future and losing her friends and not being liked in high school take over. And she has an anxiety attack. And in Riley's mind, anxiety takes over that control panel and cannot stop. So let's watch that. So you see there, joy helped get anxiety off the control panel, and Riley remembered to use practices to bring her back into the present moment. You'll see that in a second. Like breathing, right? Some of the things that y'all mentioned here at the Time for All Ages, like breathing, like just feeling grounded and touching something in your presence. Feeling sunlight on yourself. That's also called temperature regulation. It can be hot or cold. And more breaths, right? It was then that joy and anxiety had a heart-to-heart. And you heard joy saying to anxiety, you can't control who Riley is. And joy realizes that she also had wanted to block out negative feelings and memories and send them to the back of Riley's mind to protect her. But she then realized that neither joy or anxiety could tell Riley who she is. And anxiety says this to joy after joy helps get anxiety off the control panel. We don't get to choose who Riley is, meaning joy, or only anxiety. Instead, it would have to be all the emotions, memories, beliefs, etc., that would inform Riley of her new sense of self or her new growing character. And here is that clip. The volume was pretty low on there. So that was all of her emotions coming up to be part of who she is. And sometimes to re-regulate yourself, you just need to give yourself a hug, right? Just like Riley's emotions gave her core self a hug. Or you can give another person a hug. And having empathy for your whole complex self. Because your whole complex, messy self is good. And we are perfectly imperfect, complex beings. And our complex emotions are part of us. So this is why it's so important for us to practice balance. How do we practice the balance of all of our numerous emotions? When we feel dysregulated, what are things that help us feel regulated again? And some of y'all called those out already in this space. And by balancing our many complex emotions, we refrain from suppressing our emotions in a jar like anxiety thought was the best way to protect Riley. And we refrain from pushing negative memories and emotions to the back of our mind like Joy thought was the best way to protect Riley. And we have to focus on what we can control. Present moment, breath, touch, sunshine, temperature regulation, massage chair, tea, exercise, etc. And in the movie, after the complex emotions start working with the core emotions and they start working together, Joy helps anxiety sit in a massage chair and gives her anxiety when she is feeling anxious. Once we are able to accept complexity and practice balance, we can choose who we want to be going forward. We can proceed forward. We have the choice to have empathy for ourselves and have the choice to have empathy for others. And after Riley recovered from her anxiety attack, she was able to apologize for running over her friend in the hockey game and was able to talk about her complex emotions and her anxiety. She had empathy for herself and then had empathy for her friend. At the end of the movie, Riley is waiting for the text from the coach with the list of girls who made the varsity hockey team. The hockey player, Val, who Riley admires, says to Riley, "Well, if you don't make it this year, there is always next year." And Riley responds by saying, "I know." She has accepted herself, and she is and has accepted any future outcome that might occur with making or not making the hockey team. This scene emphasizes Riley's developing sense of self and the choices she's making as she navigates adolescence and attempts to integrate into new social groups while also maintaining old friendships. Riley still gets texts from her friends at the other high school. So the scene in the movie at the end doesn't directly tell us if Riley makes the team. Riley now knows that her whole life does not depend on this one thing. She could still try out next year for varsity if she doesn't make it this year. Riley is able to accept, balance, and choose a healthy path forward for herself that demonstrates empathy for herself and all her complexities and empathy for others. We are perfectly imperfect, y'all, perfectly messy and perfectly complex. Acceptance of all the components of our messy and complex selves leads us to balance in our lives. Balance allows us to have choice. We can choose to be who we want to be. And we can choose to be a person who has empathy and compassion for ourselves and others. May it be so, and amen. Please rise in body and or spirit as we sing our closing hymn, number 1012, When I Am Frightened. and be accepting of all of your complex emotions in order to be empathic to others' complex emotions. So let us now extinguish our chalice, and you can choose to hold hands if you like to sing our closing song, The Way.